Good morning, Round Rock ISD. This is Kristin Fournier coming to you from the Forest North Elementary School Library here in Round Rock ISD in Austin, Texas. And I am so happy today to celebrate our 100th day of school with you. I have a kindergartner that attends here at Forest North. We stayed up probably a few minutes too late making our 100s collection. We did a poster full of stickers. So I'm excited to also celebrate the 100th day of school with you today to teach you about some books that you might have heard of, you might not have heard about, and just kind of share what I'm really into these days. So before I start, I want to let you know all of these books are available at the Forest North Library, so you are welcome to come check them out. They're also available at lots of libraries around Round Rock ISD. So you can go to your school's website and click library. It's the link at the top right corner. And from there, you can contact your library, find out about making a parent account. Parents can check out 6 books at once, which is probably more than your little babies are checking out at home. So that way you can get access to some of these. Also, some of these are kind of popular right now. So if they are checked out, you can also put them on hold. All you need to do that is your student's 6-digit ID. And believe it or not, even some of our little kids in kindergarten and first grade here at Forest North know that 6-digit number. Sometimes they call it their S number, which is their student number. They use that to log on to Chromebooks and iPads here at school. And they also use it in the cafeteria to check out their lunch. So without further ado, let's get started. First one I want to talk about with you is the Book Hog. This is by Greg Pizzoli. Greg Pizzoli is one of my favorites. He has a style that he does with all of his books. And some of the things that he does, you can kind of tell from here. We've got really clean, nice art. And the font is always, I feel like I like it that there's not too many books on there, or not too many words on the page, but there's lots of nice negative space. This is really nice for kids that are starting to be newly independent readers. They don't get overwhelmed by books. As you can tell, like this one, the Book Hog loved books. There's only 5 words on this page. So it's kind of nice for a new reader. If you're reading this at home for a bedtime story, you might do most of the heavy lifting, but then maybe get your kid to read a couple of the sight words they know. Sometimes my daughter, I'll assign her a character and she'll be the one to do. So the other thing about the Book Hog is that on Monday, the American Library Association released their Youth Media Awards, which, believe it or not, is a really big deal in library world. And this won an award. It's the Dr. Seuss. It's the Ted Theodore Seuss Geisel Award. And it's books published specifically for newly independent readers. And this one won an honor for that. And I think it was well deserved. So in this, the Book Hog is obsessed with books. He loves them. I can relate to that, right? He has a collection. He likes to transport them around in his adorable little Vespa. He likes to smell them, turn the pages. But there is a problem. He doesn't know how to read them. So he accidentally finds himself in a magical place called a library, and our elephant librarian tells him that we have story time and that you can read them together. And then after that, she even offers to help him read himself. So it's a kind of nice, relatable story for our students that are learning to read. And again, I love the color palette. I love the art. I love that it's not overwhelming, too much text on each page. So I think this one is a great bedtime story. My expertise is pre-K through 5th grade, so I'm going to kind of start at the younger grades and I'll move up as we go. So this is another one I really like. This is You Ammu, and it's written by Oge Mora. This was her debut book. It came out last year, and it won a Caldecott honor last year, which is a book for really great, its own award for really great illustration. But Oge Mora actually writes the words and does the pictures, which I cannot fathom being this good at both of those, but somehow she does it. This one kind of reminds me of like traditional literature, like a folk tale. Omu is a word for grandmother. And Omu has this giant, delicious smelling pot of stew, and everyone in her neighborhood keeps stopping by to come get a bowl of soup. And Omu is so kind and so generous. She keeps sharing her stew with everybody. She keeps sharing it and sharing it and sharing it. And by the end of the book, she has none left for her, and she's very hungry. So don't worry, though. All is well, because there is a knock on the door. And I bet you might be able to guess who might be at the door. It's all the people that she helped. So they actually end up having an impromptu potluck. Such a good heartwarming story, and it's got nice repetition again for those early readers, for them to start engaging in stories together at bedtime or at any time. If you're just joining us, just a reminder, I'm Kristin Fournier. I'm the librarian at Forest North Elementary, and we are talking about books today. This is a segment Round Rock ISD does where librarians share with you some books that we've been excited about in our library. And I can tell you, I'm working the desk every day. These are books that circulate all the time. They're very popular. So this is another one by Keith Negley. This is called Mary Wears What She Wants. And this is cool. It's nonfiction. Sometimes a lot of my students are confused when they see a nonfiction book and it has illustrations like this. But it is based on the true story of Mary Edwards Walker, who was one of the first women to wear pants. And it was very scandalous at the time. She goes to school. The community is in outrage about it. But she is persistent with it. And it's kind of cool. Her dad supports her through it. And then my favorite part when I'm reading this is at the end, there are real photos of her wearing her pants. I love it. So we've had a fun time reading this one out loud this year together because a lot of our students are unaware that it's relatively new for women to, be accepted in society wearing pants, which kind of blows my mind. Anyway, the other thing I wanted to say about this book is we have a district award called the Armadillo Reader's Choice Award. And there's 12 elementary librarians that serve on this committee, and we pick 10 books each year that we think would be nice for all librarians in Round Rock ISD at the elementary level to share with all their kindergarten, first, and second grade classes. So there's a good chance if you have a K1 or 2 student that they have read this book already this year, or they will be later. And we align all of them with some really great lessons that are based on the Texas essential skills and knowledge that all of our kids need to learn. All right, here's another one. This one is Solway. This book is so hot right now. It won a lot of awards on Monday at the Youth Media Awards. And my selling point for this is that it's written by Lupita Nyong'o. And if you don't remember who that is, it's the lady who played the girlfriend of Black Panther in Black Panther. I mean, hello, it sells itself. It's also illustrated by Vashti Harrison. Vashti Harrison is one of the top illustrators right now that does a lot of really cool books. Solway is a great story. It's, again, kind of a little bit of a folktale, but it talks about a little girl who feels like she is excluded from some things at school because her skin is a darker shade than some of other people. I've read some more about this, and I'm learning that it's sometimes called colorism, where it would be different people of color are judging each other depending on the shade of their skin. And I think this is a really relevant topic for a lot of our kids to discuss right now. I did a mock Caldecott program with my 5th graders earlier over the past month or so, and this was actually their winner for the Mock Caldecott Award for this year. So this one really touched them. They thought it was really great. And Solway kind of learns to accept how beautiful she is and her beautiful skin because her mother tells her a beautiful folktale and uses the symbolism of the day and the night and how they need each other, and you can't have one without the other. So I think this book is so special and it's gorgeous. So I was really proud my 5th graders picked that one. Now we did pick this as our winner for the Mock Caldecott, but our honor book ended up being the one that really, in real life, won the Caldecott Award earlier this week, and it is the Undefeated. I was so excited because I tweeted about us picking this book, and congratulations, and Kwame Alexander, the writer, retweeted me earlier this week. I was so excited. So the illustrator for this one is Kadir Nelson, amazing, and the Undefeated is another work of nonfiction. It is a picture book, and the whole time you read this book, you just have goosebumps constantly. So it kind of talks about some struggles that people of color have faced. And then the art in here is just, it's photorealistic. It's incredible. And the zoom-ins, these paintings are just amazing. And I feel like it does a great job of talking about some of the harsh realities and some of the things that have happened in the history of the United States. But it does it at a level that feels comfortable for younger children. So I certainly felt comfortable talking about it with 5th graders. I feel like this is a great choice at home with your own children to kind of talk about it. We just had Dr. Martin Luther King Day, so this would be a great one to do that. I kind of want to read you a spread just because they're so beautiful. Let's see, here's a good one. This is for the undeniable, the ones who scored with chains on one hand and faith in the other. So each one of them has a lot of symbolism where you can kind of go into the level of comfort that you're good with your kids. This is for the unflappable, the sophisticated ones who box adversity and tackle vision. Pretty cool. All right, so let me move up a little bit. I have this series from Scholastic. You probably have Scholastic book fairs at your school once in a while. This series up here, I don't know if you can see it, but it's got a little tree. It's called Branches. These books are like perfect for kids that are just moving into a little bit past early reader books and their first chapter books. This series, I could not even grab one of my library ones because they're impossible to find right now. So I had this one. It's a paperback. It's called Press Start. That's the series. And this first book is called Game Over, Super Rabbit Boy. If you're new to this series, it's by Thomas Flintham. And it's like 8-bit. It looks like in the 80s when we all played Nintendo Game Boys. That's very hot right now, as you know, with Minecraft. So kids love this one because each chapter is a different level of the story. They just get better and better. The kids love these. They've also come out with a new series. It's before Branches. It's called Acorn. And Acorn is kind of back to what we were talking about with that very first book, the Book Hog. They're perfect for kids that are just starting out to read by themselves. Great job like controlling vocabulary and not being overwhelming on each page, repeating vocabulary so they don't have to work too hard. The most important way to get your kids to like reading is to find books they like. This is definitely what they like. So I would highly recommend this if you have a kid who's into video games at your house. If you are just joining us, I am Kristin Fournier at Forest North Elementary, and we are talking about books today here in the library, my favorite thing to talk about. I have a couple of graphic novels to show you before we go. I am so proud to serve on a Texas Library Association book committee. I have a 3-year term on the Little Mavericks Graphic Novel Award. So I've done 1 year, about to start my 2nd and 3rd year. So I wanted to share a few of my favorite graphic novels with you. Graphic novels are like comics, but they're a chapter book version. So they have a long plot, characters change over time, but it's still got a lot of visual support. These are great for kids that maybe think they don't like reading. It's kind of a good bridge. And they're real literature. They're real reading. Their teachers are cool with the kids reading these at school. So this one is called El Defo. It's by Cece Bell. This one's interesting because it's about a rabbit. But Cece Bell, this is actually an autobiography of her growing up in the 70s, and she has hearing loss. So this was kind of a time where new technology was just coming out to assist kids at school with being able to be successful in the classroom with everybody else. So this one's kind of interesting because she has got a hearing aid in, but it connects to what her teacher says. So there's a couple of mishaps that are so funny in this book where the teacher is in the teacher lounge and our main character can actually hear them. And so she knows when the teacher's coming back into the classroom. So she becomes kind of a superhero for the class to talk about what's going on and when they're coming back. So she goes by El Defo. That's her superhero name. And there's a couple of other really funny incidents that I won't ruin for you, but basically hot mic kind of stuff. It's very 2020, but it apparently also happened in the 70s. It was awesome. Another one I want to talk to you about is Sanity in Tallulah. This is a sci-fi for like 3rd graders, which kind of blows my mind. That's not something that I come across very often. But Sanity and Tallulah live on a spaceship, and they are bored. They're super bored. So sometimes they get into a little bit of trouble. They're poking around trying to find interesting creatures that live on their spaceship, and they find, I'm going to see if I can find it for you right now. They find the cutest 3-headed kitten in the entire world. So for this book, I'm just usually tell people, would you like the cutest 3-headed kitten? And that'll check out every time. So Sanity in Tallulah, I also like it because it's 2 girls in space, right? I feel like a lot of sci-fi focuses on male protagonists. I like that this has 2 girls. Here's our kitten, just 1 head, so no spoilers. But what's going to happen with the 3-headed kitten? How do they atone for all the trouble that they get into on the spaceship? You'll have to read it to find out. It's a great one. I love that one. And then this last one, I feel like if there's one you've heard about, this might be it. This is Guts. Raina Telgemeier is like the goddess of graphic novels in elementary schools. She's written Smile and Sisters. This is her last one that came out last year. And Guts is nonfiction. It's a true story about her life where she starts having a lot of stomach issues. And through the book, she sort of discovers that it's actually she's dealing with a lot of anxiety. And so because of that, it manifests in her physically that she is worried about stomach aches and throwing up a lot. So I felt like this is so relevant to our kids right now. A lot of our kids are experiencing anxiety, and she's kind of going through that. Her parents are so great dealing with it and helping her try to get answers and just deal with middle school life. This one, even though it does take place in middle school, I feel like it's completely appropriate for an elementary school audience, and I really enjoyed it. So I'm hoping that between all of these titles, you have found some that sound appealing for you and your family today. These would all be really great books to read with your family at night. I'm going to show you titles again just in case there was one that really caught your eye. Here's Solway, a good one. There's Mary Wears What She Wants. And I really appreciate you tuning in today and letting me talk to you about books. As my students say, it's my favorite thing. And here's our Book Hog. So y'all have a great day, and I'll talk to you later.